Welcome, fellow New England enjoyers. Apparently, we're on the New England map for a second time in a row. Yeah, I just pulled up this cool looking 3 versus 3, which, funny enough, the last game was as well. This time, though, luckily we got different civs. Yeah. So, anyways, this is just another Age of Empires 3 DE 3 versus 3 casted game by your favorite host, Unstoppable Stiletsy. Before we get started with this casted game, let's look at the map real quick and recap what's on it. So, it's New England. I come from here. I can tell you for sure we eat a lot of seafood, a lot of fish. Here's this big, wonderful coastline here that, you know, your yellow as well as your orange player could go on for lots of fishing. You also get the nice lakes in the center of the map as well. These are great for sticking a siege ship like a monitor in and just bombarding somebody's base with. I've seen it happen a lot of times before, mainly by human players on the ESOC TV games in vanilla and in D. Also, a big part of the map is the trade route. You know, this very large trade route. When I was younger and I used to face off against the AI, they would always put the fort like right over here and just try to control it all the time. And usually it worked against me in those days since I wasn't very skilled, but as I got smarter, you know, I just learned how to get some decent artillery and shell the thing down. So there's that, a little bit of backstory of me. Let's get started now. This should be a pretty fun match. I'm looking forward to it. So on this side we got the British, the booming civ. They basically build these slightly more expensive houses called manors, and when they're built, they get a free settler from them, so free villi. This allows them to reach their max build limit of settlers a lot quicker than other civs. You also got the... Who is this? We got the Dutch over here. This is another economic booming civ, but instead of free villies, they just build lots of banks, and with those banks, they trickle lots of coin from them. You know, lots of money. Lots of money. And then, of course, you got India here, which, you know, they're quite a bit different than either of those civs, since their villagers actually cost wood. You know what I found a little bit weird here is the fact that you got one civ that has food villagers, one that has wood costing villagers, and one that has coin costing villagers, since the merchants cost coins, so one of each resource. Isn't that an oddity? Should be an interesting synergy, though. And then on the other side, you got Mexico, and then you got an Aztec, which is basically Mexico from an earlier period in time, and then you got the Ottomans as well, the Evets. So, pretty interesting combination here. You know, Aztecs can be pretty aggressive, or they can go more for the FF. Ottomans clearly favor the FI, or the fast industrial gameplay. And then Mexico, you know, they're pretty flexible to multiple things. What we might see from them is maybe a Central America revolt and a return to Mexico in Age 4. But we'll have to look at the decks to see what happens here. So, the Ottomans deck... Yeah, this is a fast industrial deck. See the Royal Decree card here, followed by Moss Construction. The idea is to get the RD first, and then get Moss Construction to cheapen the cost of all the RD techs. Very powerful ones too, like the one that sends you a large group of Nizam Fusiliers, the one that sends you Spahis, as well as the one that sends some great bombards. So, it's quite a powerful build as Ottomans, and one you see in ranked a lot. As for the Mexican deck, or the Aztec deck first, we see, well, it looks like some naval stuff here. A lot of water gameplay, so we might actually see some Aztecs going on water initially. At least from what the deck looks like. You know, and a lot of villages too, so it's pretty economical. Pretty economical. How about the Mexico? So the Mexico is looking, yeah, a little bit more late game, you know. I'm assuming we're going to be seeing some sort of return to Mexico to Age 4 maybe. And potentially, from the looks of it, could totally be a Baja California revolt. We do see the advanced saloon here, so maybe they're going to try to get some more saloons out to support their outlaw numbers, potentially. Yeah, it sort of seems like that, but we don't see the thing that lets you get free Suerteros from the Haciendas, though. That's the one thing I see them missing for that type of an approach. On the other side, though, we see standard British deck, lots of crates, musketeers, lots of musketeer upgrades, 2 falcons, so very basic British deck, I would say. You know, pretty standard stuff. As for the Dutch player, all the Dutch necessities here, pretty basic way you want to play Dutch, you know. Plenty of unit upgrades, basic eco, all the necessary bank cards they need to do well, so nothing too big there. And finally, the India. India, basically, they seem to be looking more at either early. Now, they're actually looking more at fast industrial gameplay, I think, if they want to go for the rockets. I don't see a lot of age 3 unit cards, no Mahouts, which I find a little bit odd. So unless they're going for like some siege elephant thing, I don't think they're going to be sticking around age 3 too long. That's just me anyways. You know, we're going to have to pay attention to the map now and see what's going on here. India already getting their second wood trickling right now. They'll put their eco on, well, yeah, I mean, I guess they almost have enough coin to get to Fortress Age with. They got, like, they need, like, 100 more coin before the crates can get them there, I think. Also, well, I'm just looking around this map, you know. New England's an interesting map. I've done a lot of team games on it. Basically, you have people that attack on this side of the lake sometimes, and then you have people attack on this side of the lake, where the natives are. You can always end up in very different spots depending on who goes where, and who coordinates or not. Ah, this is interesting. Just like in the last game we saw with the Mexico. The Mexico on this side of the map is going for an Insurgente attack. And they're probably going to mass a lot of these things. You know, Mexico, as you know, the Insurgentes are quite cheap, like 70 food. They can also be training groups of 10. They're actually going to get the Machetes card, which is going to improve their attack damage and their speed. It's a very popular card I use when I started playing the Civ, since I really like their rush style with the Insurgentes. They're actually going to be aided by some Coyote runners from the Aztecs, so kind of like a deja vu moment from last game we saw in New England. The team on the orange, purple, red team on this side of the map is actually going to play aggro again. My question is it going to turn out the same, or will the team on this side get their act together and clean up the mess? I mean, honestly, at this point, I don't know. I'm just looking, oh, they actually made some Eagle Scouts. Interesting. Eagle Scouts, so yeah, those are usually used to get treasures to aid the war chief, but will they have a lot of value on the battlefield? I don't know exactly. I mean, at this point, oh, and then the Armaments got some Humbaraces as well. Humbaraces quite good at sieging. They're basically arming grenadiers, and they're also decent against infantry units as well, which at the moment it looks like all I currently see is infantry from India. India already prepared for sepoy production, since that's the standard route for India to take. But just not enough numbers, though. You know, these Humbaraces, once they get a little bit out of control, and their numbers are going to start to completely dominate against the infantry. Oh, but wait a second. Wait a second here. We just see a massive musketeers attacking. Oh, wow, I didn't even see this. Did you see this? I didn't see this. British actually snuck up there with 2 barracks and went all-in musketeer all the way from up here. Almost like a distraction over here, keeping them busy over here while the... Oh, wow, I fell for that too. Very good, Shaman. That was good play right there, you know. You bamboozled us all with that, I think. That was... I was looking at the mini-map and I was thinking, what's going on here? And yeah. So, and then you see Blue over here doing some Hussar raiding as well. With 3 Hussars. Aztecs looking to send villagers to all teammates. This is probably going to be the best chance that this team has at, you know, coming back from this. What is it going on here, though? Did their attack survive? It doesn't look like it did. So at this point, because of all their fighting over here, they made themselves vulnerable to Shaman's sneak attack on this side. And since they are the British, right? And I'll confirm with the resources. How many settlers does Shaman have with the manor booming? Already has about like 31, 32 settlers on the field at this point. That's far ahead of everyone else at this stage. You know, and they're still building manors as we speak right now. Question is, will these Humbaraces deal with the musketeer threat or not? You know, the musketeers are in stagger mode to avoid as much splash as possible. Insurgente sneaking from the behind to snare them. Well, I don't know. I mean, if the Humbaraces can get enough splash in, then this side should be in good shape. Keeping in mind, though, the Aztecs have lost their base pretty much, and they're gonna need to rely on tribute mostly to contribute a lot. Oh, Sawars. Yeah, Sawars from the Indian player has came to aid in the musketeer attacks. Not enough, though. I mean, that mass should be able to deal with the Sawars pretty easily. But now we see more musketeers rolling in from behind, as well as a queue of 1 Hussar. So this British player is looking like the... well, actually, the India has a higher score than them. I was going to call them the MVP of the team, but clearly the India is actually doing better economically, at least on paper. Well, resource-wise, yeah, slightly. They're going to start to come in with set points now to aid the musketeer pressure here. They got a great advantage right now of knocking out the Aztec base. They're going to want to capitalize on that and move on to the Mexico one and then the Ottomans afterwards. Oh, an artillery foundry. Interesting. What happened to that? Oh, I can imagine it got sieged, right? Well, no, that's actually still standing, so why are they building a foundry back at the base here? You know, I would have saved that for like Jan's or from a barracks or maybe the delis from the stable, just so you have a bit of variety. Yeah, I mean at this point, Aztecs, yeah, you can hang up your hat at this point. You've kind of lost your whole base, honestly. Oh, and then Mexico falls close behind. All they got left now is the Ottomans, you know. Ottomans with their Humbaraces spam are in better shape overall, with some AZAPs added in to deal with cavalry threats, as well as light cavalry threats. Will these Humbaraces be enough to sustain much on their own, or is it looking like the end of this team? This match threw me for a loop because it certainly looked like the same colored players on the same side of the map, on the same map, we're going to pull the same sort of successful rush, but then Shaman comes in and says, no, 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 not today, and came up with this side counterattack. This is why building placement is very important, folks. If you can put a building on the edge of the map here where you know scouting will not occur very often, you can do sneak attacks that can change the course of the game. And for the opposing team, that's why scouting is very important. Try to set up your waypoints with your scouting in a way that you cover all corners of the map and you check it often. Because if you don't check it often, that's when sneak forward bases like that appear and you're not ready for them. Maybe the Ottoman team could have done better if they had their army at home at the time and were able to quickly respond to the musketeer mass. Food for thought, right? but something you need to consider post-game so you can build a better method and a better strategy of dealing with those types of things. Bashi the emergency unit. Yeah, GG. I think Sharman basically won this team the game, as well as India with their superior eco spamming. Clan Royal. Yeah, the Royal Clan's pretty good, you know. I've seen a lot of games from Sharman and some of the other members. They're quite a good clan, from what I've seen. And this is one of their games, by the way, that was posted, so I figured I'd cast it for them. Post-game wise, British and India, I would assume. Most eco. Yep, British by far. Manderboomen just makes it that much better. India second. Dutch behind in third, just because of their bank wagons keeping them ahead, and the other team lagging behind in eco. In terms of military, Dutch didn't have to put out a lot of units. They were able to focus more on the banks, whereas it seems like British did a lot of the heavy lifting in army, and India just made a couple units here and there depend on the circumstance for defense, and then eventually some offense in the form of Sawars and Sepoys. But anyways, good game from all the players, you know. This was a pretty brief one, just like the last game, so a lot of early attacking. If you enjoy New England map games or any other types of team games that are casted, always check out Unstoppable Stilet's YouTube for more. I'm going to keep doing more and more of these. I love casting AoE3 since it's my favorite RTS. Hope you enjoyed this one. Be ready for the next one, you know. I'm surely coming with even more casting. Signing off now.